Well, I'm glad you're still with us. It's time for us to get or jump straight into our insight. And of course, we're having a very interesting discussion this particular morning. And of course, with me in studios is Kimani Muturi, who is the MD, or call it also the founder of TechSFAD. And he'll be talking to us what TechSFAD is and why he is here anyway as TechSFAD. But just a quick reminder, we keep talking about the skills development facility. Of course, what we're seeing here is that it's part of Uganda's skills development project here under Component 3 and is implemented by the private Sector Foundation Uganda on behalf of the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Now, it is a facility that will support to economic development and rather support employer-led short-term training, okay, and recognition of prior learning as well as increased access to internship. Now, this is quite interesting, and I think this is not the first time we've had this discussion, but of course we have someone else to give us his story and how he became a part of this and why he was interested in it to begin with. But first of all, you're very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Indeed. When we talk about TechSFAD, what are we talking about?
Now, when we talk about TechSFAD, we talk about an organization that imparts skills, hands-on skills in textiles and also handicrafts.
Oh, that's very interesting. Now, earlier on, you were telling me about a couple of things. Now, when you talk about hands-on skills and textile, what are we talking about exactly?
You know, in this country, the textile manufacturers are actually high-scale manufacturers, but there is also a cottage industry that has not come up so well. So we belong to that cottage industry where we use our hands to make textiles, to make fabrics, and also to use whatever remains from our processes to make handicrafts.
Okay, and what are those remains are we talking about?
Basically, TechSFAD uses, let me say, waste materials.
Okay.
We use two types of waste materials. Okay. We use majorly banana fibers because, you know, this country, we grow a lot of bananas here. And our output is about 10 million metric tons every year. Some data actually ranks us number 2 from India globally. And we are also the largest banana consumers in the world at the rate of 0.6 to 0.8 per kg per person. So that means we have a huge resource of this output, and this output actually can be transformed into raw materials, which is actually sustainable for making textiles as well as making handicrafts. Okay.
Now, when we're talking textile and handicrafts, what are these things that we narrow down to that you actually get as an end result?
Now, the textiles that we are talking about, we are talking about quite a value chain. And this value chain will involve actually the identification of the specific banana stem that is waste, and then the extraction of the fiber. Once the fiber is extracted from the stem, then you have a product actually to sell, because the fiber itself is a raw material for a number of handicraft makers.
You can sell it as raw material.
You can sell it.
Or go ahead and still do this.
Yes, you can still go ahead and twist it into a thread, and then that thread is ball winded into a ball of thread, which can also be sold for other uses, including rope making, handicraft making, basketry, you know, all that. But
you talked about carpets too.
Oh yes, at TechSFAD now we take that fiber much ahead, because we use the fiber to make textiles.
Yes.
And we also use them to make heavy textiles like carpets and wall hangings, lampshades, table mats. Yeah, basically those textiles for furnishes.
That's interesting. So how many people are you working with to execute this?
We have 7, I can say, full-time staff who work at TechSFAD. And we have about 25 trainees who are currently training with us. And all these staff that we work with, we have trained them ourselves, because we are an organization like no other in this country.
Okay.
Yes, so we train our own staff, and then we also hire them.
Okay, now that will bring me to the skills development facility. Seeing that you have the same, goal or agenda as an organization, and then how did you get to be a part of the skills development facility?
Now, to grow small businesses in this country, you definitely need support. And you need support which is sustainable, which can upscale your activities to reach many other people. So we keep scouting for calls.
Okay.
And there was this call from Skills Development Facility, which you saw in the newspapers. And after reading, we realized that we qualify under window 3 of the call. And then we went in for the call. Unfortunately, we were among the few who were shortlisted from the many to be supported, and indeed were supported.
So what have you, what has changed? What has this particular project, that is being implemented by Private Sector Foundation Uganda done for you since, you got to be a part of it?
Now, we have benefited in quite a number of ways. First, the SDF project supports acquisition of equipment that is hard for an organization to access.
Oh, yes.
So through this support, we have been able to acquire this equipment. We have actually locally worked with the local artisans and fabricated a much better banana fiber extractor machine. We have also worked on a number of textile handlooms for hand weaving, and also accessed equipment for garment making, and also modernized our way of designing these textiles by introducing computerized processes for, computer-aided design for designing our products.
Okay, that's very interesting. So, look, when did you actually get to be a part of the project?
We were funded last year in July, so we've been on this project now for a year.
And you feel that there's been a great change within this short time?
Yeah, there has been a great change, because now the organization is so vibrant, with a lot of people coming for skills training. We have seen growth in our output of the products that we take to the market. We have seen our trainees, the first batch of trainees actually begin their small businesses. Now we are trying to connect them to various support that they can get to grow their businesses. And we have also seen a number of people also giving us more ideas on what additional kind of projects that we can do. So there is a lot of benefits going on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And do you feel that the skills development facility has been able to probably achieve, through the many people they're working with like yourselves, their particular goal here in regards to productivity, the whole inclusive aspect that they're looking at here at the end of the day, and of course having a very mobile kind of labor that every time you need someone to do something, they're capable of doing it anywhere?
Oh yes, this project has, I can say it has filled in 2 gaps. The first gap is the lack of skills. Yeah, because we are getting people who, not necessarily that people who have gone to school have their papers. No, we are just getting these youths and women on board to just impart them a skill, and that is one of the output definitely that this SDF is realizing through an organization like TechSFAD. And then we also have people who are getting these skills actually to go and begin their own small businesses. So apart from access to jobs, to have a qualification and a competence that can enable one to get employed, then we also have an advantage of somebody starting an innovative kind of a business. Yes.
That is very true. So seeing that you decided to go down this road, you did say, and how we are very well blessed, with the kind of food we have here, and taking advantage of processing all the waste and stuff like that. Why did you take on this role? Did it seem to you like it was going to give an end result, or did you just take on a risk and say, well, let me just try and see where this goes?
Well, actually, it was not it was not a risk. Yes. It was a passion.
Okay.
Okay, I have a textile background, and I've been a teacher of textiles for quite some time. having taught also at Makerere and also at Chambogo University. So I have this background and passion of trying out various fibers from different plants, and then trying to develop these fibers into materials for textiles.
And it's sustainable, like it's good quality stuff?
Oh yeah, it's good quality. By the way, it's not a must that we make textiles from cotton. It is the high time that we now start focusing on other materials that can give us fibers that actually can competently compete with cotton. And then we get other essential fabrics for wear and also a number of raw materials for other furnishes projects.
Okay. So hasn't this been a challenge for you, really? Like what you've just mentioned, to, you know, for people to understand, well, whatever is made from this sort of, you know, with this kind of fabric is actually good stuff. It's good enough. It's quite sustainable. You know, there are things that people are looking out for in the things they're getting to use. So haven't you had challenges there? People appreciating and...
We've had challenges because most of these processes are actually innovative. It's not something that we have seen from somewhere and we are trying to copy. It is actually something that we create ourselves, develop ourselves, take to the market. The market responds, and then we produce. So some of the products will not go through. Others are going through very well, like our biggest product that we sell mostly is banana fiber rugs. Those carpets have a lot of market, and no, these are customized things. You come and say, look here, I want a carpet that has my name. And we produce it. Actually using materials that have grown in the country here and using skills that have been developed in the country here. So it's a product that can actually turn around a small percentage of this economy. Yes.
And you're getting there slowly?
We are getting there, and the way of getting there is creating partnerships like the partnership we have with the skills development facility, because it's not only just funding, but they also have programs that expose us to various business development services.
Or they give you the opportunity
and also
to,
networks. Can you try to work with this person? There is this contact. Can you contact this person? So those kind of networks that we need to grow.
And so we're assuming they've also helped you in terms of pushing for your product.
Oh yes, because once you have an equipment that you didn't have, definitely you have support that pushes you to actually realize the product of your dream. And the product of my dream, I'm sure I'm heading there.
Okay.
I would like to see you dressed in a banana fiber dress. I would like to see you actually...
I will actually get one of my colleagues, because we need to see this, yeah?
Oh yes, and I would also like to see you wearing a banana fiber shoe which is 100% biodegradable. I would like to see your hair extension, actually banana fiber extension. So we are trying to commercialize these little innovations that we are developing, to see that we popularize this material as a key raw materials that can be used in the country.
And our very own, just to point out. Okay, very interesting. Now, I would really, because I'm amused, because after this I will tell one of my colleagues, you know, maybe we could see some of these products that you have.
Sure.
So how affordable are these products? Because you see, we have a challenge. Some of our very own products sometimes get a little bit more expensive than what some of the things that are being imported in here. So how affordable is it, you know, considering, you know, the cost or the work you're putting in as a team to make sure that you give us an end product? How affordable are some of these products that, you know, people can probably have to?
These products are very affordable because the first thing, the materials are accessed very easily in the communities around us. Some of these materials are really unwanted, and somebody gives you a call and tells you, come with a truck and actually get these stems off my garden. I want to put cassava, I want to put something else. So we go and collect them. So with the access to raw materials very easy, then the cost definitely lowers of the product. So it's not a product I would say that it's for the high-end market. It can cater for both markets.
And you're looking at the cottage industry.
Oh, yes.
Interesting. Now, if we go back to the skills development facility, of course, being implemented by the Private Sector Foundation, do they get to monitor and see progress and, the kind of things that you're doing to make sure you're keeping up with or being on the same page with them?
Oh, yes. They have a monitoring system that frequently comes to the facility and keeps checking the use of the equipment, the attendance of the students who are coming to learn, and they also look at the viability of the project in terms of the outputs that we set down, committed to them, that we have to reach, and also looking at the ways that the competencies that we are also passing to these learners, whether they are really learning, and they have separate interviews with them to really measure.
So as much as you do the trainings, they still have to go through an entire process?
Oh, yes. Yes.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
So what happens with, for example, now you have 25 people that you're training. What happens after that? Do you is there opportunity for them to stay back, or do you just train and they, go after in the world?
I would say there are 3 opportunities for them.
Okay.
The first opportunity is after they have gained the skill, we can link them to various cottage industries that we know in the country, where they can actually access jobs.
Okay.
Then secondly, those who are really good and innovative, we can retain them, a few, as TextFund.
Okay.
And also those that also have very good skills. We have a program at TextFund which we call Business Incubation Program.
Okay.
And this Business Incubation Program, it offers these learners an opportunity to start their business when they are still at TextFund. But they have, first of all, to train and gain these competencies. Then after that, we give them a 6 months incubation program. That means they access materials from TextFund, they access equipment from TextFund, and then they also access market from TextFund.
Interesting.
And they develop a new product, not the products we produce. We guide them to come up with their own product, and then we test the market. After the market responding positively, then we incubate that business. Okay, so within 6 months, somebody will have actually sold a number of pieces. Someone will already have saved some little money, and will have also maybe bought a small equipment that he can use outside there. So somebody graduates from incubation program with a product, a market, and also an equipment. So somebody is ready to start off the business.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically you're handing them a tool after they're done
yes.
with. Okay, very interesting. I want you to speak to the people out there in regards to TextFund, and also real quickly after that we shall look into the skills development facility and why it is very important.
Yeah, thank you.
Camera there, yeah.
Well, what I can say about the TextFund and what we do is that we are one facility that skills the young people and also the elderly people, because we have realized that also people who retire need some skills, and we have given them an opportunity to come to TextFund and be able to train with us. TextFund is now a skills training academy where you can come to the facility whether you have any qualifications in terms of academic qualifications, or if you actually never went to school, you didn't have that chance to go to school, or if you dropped from school, you still have time to learn to make and sell something. So those are the key 3 words. You learn, you make, and then you sell. And we usually say that you really have to also make and sell something. You don't have to keep, consuming everything. You consume a shoe from somebody, you consume clothing from someone, food from somebody, everything from somebody. I think it's a high time we encourage the youths to come up and actually also start making and selling, so that other people can begin consuming products that we make.
Okay. Now, the skills development facility being implemented by the private sector, Foundation Uganda, still talk to the people on why this is very important to us, again, as a country.
Yeah, as a country, I believe every citizen in this country needs a skill. Whether you're employed, whether you're an academician, whatever kind of work you do, you just need to know how to make something. And this Skills Development Fund is here for you. Just look for these organizations that are actually supported by SDF. You'll be able to acquire these skills, some of them for free. I want to believe that even after the employment, everybody goes back to business. So even if you're employed, what kind of business will you go and do? Yeah, and there are no opportunities, many opportunities for employment out there. So it's a high time that we focus, whether old or young, we focus on skilling ourselves through SDF programs, and then we get to learn to make and sell something.
Okay. Well, just a reminder, the Skills Development Facility is part of Uganda's Skills Development Project that is under Component 3 and is implemented by the private Sector Foundation Uganda on behalf of the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Thank you so much, Kimani Muturi, who is MD and founder of Texford. Very interesting things that you're doing there. Really, I am intrigued. And thank you for giving us your time and sharing what this has been for you, what it's been like for you. And of course, they do training. So while we're talking about skills and, you know, at the end of the day, using the skills, probably you can try this out. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I do appreciate.
Thank you so
And my time has also run out. But like I always say, Monday to Friday, 9 to 10. From me and the entire business team, my name is Rowena Kajumba. We wish you a good day.